Let's talk about inner healing. I've been noticing a lot of people in my life and that are coming into my life are feeling like they're going through this personal discovery and personal growth period. And I just want to say that if you are going through this time when you feel like you're becoming more aware of yourself and your surroundings and all of these different factors that go into you and your happiness, I want to say that I'm proud of you. It's not an easy journey and it's not an easy time. I think that that's like one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about inner healing. It's not about waking up at 7 a.m. and drinking your green juice, smiling every day that it's rainbows and sunshines and my life is so perfect and happy and I'm healing. Like, healing is ugly. Healing is painful. Healing is suffering. Yes, like through this healing, you will find sunshine and you will find rainbows and you'll feel like the sun and the stars are shining for you because they are. But to get to that point when you feel aligned with the universe and your purpose and meaning, and you have to go through this period that's really scary and really uncomfortable and super duper vulnerable. That's why if you're feeling like you're going through this time of change, of realization, I want to say I'm proud of you. Because it's not easy and not everybody does it. It's really hard to confront the things that we so often run away from. We live in this bubble of comfort, of stability, of what we know, because the unknown scares us and change is scary. But I think that the first step to real, true, just fulfillment and happiness, and I speak this from my own experience, that the first step is really just sitting with your sadness, sitting with your disappointment, with all of the things that you hate about yourself, sitting with all of the things that you try so hard to ignore. We really do a great job of distracting ourselves. We do a great job of smiling and pretending that everything's okay. And it works for a little bit, but it's not gonna give you that feeling of like true, just like peace and contentment. One of the most important things about inner healing is to sit with your sadness, to sit with your insecurities, to really allow yourself to be unhappy. We put barriers up and we disconnect from the things that make us uncomfortable because we don't like that. We don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to be scared. We don't want to not know. And I'm telling you that that is the biggest barrier to your growth. When you don't sit with the things that make you feel insecure, with the things that scare you, then you'll never reach a point where you need to change it. It's so easy to distract ourselves and it's so easy to like indulge in all these temporary pleasures and instant gratification that we never are forced to just sit with unhappiness and our suffering. The beautiful thing about sitting in suffering and truly indulging in unhappiness is that you realize this sucks and I want to do something about it so that I don't feel this way anymore. And I think that that's one of the most powerful places that you can be, is at this place that you're just like, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to be unhappy anymore. I don't want to look in the mirror and hate myself. I don't want to like be in a job that doesn't serve me. We so often are just like accepting of situations because it's comfortable. You know, it's very like cliche to say like your life begins outside of your comfort zone. It's true, okay? You cannot truly be growing if you're staying in your bubble. If you feel comfortable, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. And I know that there are tons of people out there who are their worst critics, you know, have really high expectations for themselves, but that's not the same as pushing yourself, because that's a self-limiting belief, that's a self-limiting thought. I'm talking about pushing yourself in the sense that like you are really being vulnerable with yourself. You are being completely honest with yourself. And it's not easy to do. And that's why inner healing isn't pretty. It's very ugly. You look at the ugliest parts of yourself and you say like, holy Like, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to live this way. So I'm going to do something about it. And unfortunately, I feel like for humans, we have to be in such a place of uncomfortability that pushes us to change. Like, we have to reach that level of like, oh my God, I can't live with this another day, and now I have to do something about it. Like, that's just how we are. We're procrastinators, and we are, again, really good at instant gratification and distracting ourselves. But to get to the point where you're truly, genuinely content and just fulfilled with yourself, and you're aligned with your purpose and your meaning and your passion, I feel like to reach that point, you have to sit with the parts of yourself that you can't stand. And only you know that. I want us to move away from this idea of like, love yourself, like, accept yourself. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, to love yourself, because that's the goal, is to love yourself at the end of all of this. At the end of all of this, I hope that you truly, genuinely, authentically, wholeheartedly love yourself. That is, yes, the goal, but to get to that place, you have to trudge through the ugly. You have to walk through the shit. And when I'm talking shit, yeah, Shiloh, I'm talking about piles of cow shit. I think that the misconception with the idea of self-love is that you have to accept these things about yourself. But I think that the biggest and greatest gift that you can give yourself is honesty about what you are unhappy about. If not, you're lying to yourself. Let that sink in. Called inner healing because it's about mending and healing the things inside of ourselves. And in which case, you don't have to accept these things about yourself, because you are in complete and total control of your inner self. That is you. That is entirely up to you. When it comes to like, our looks or the things that we have, like, that's external, and I feel like it's different. It's out of our control. Yes, like, accept the things that are out of your control, but have the courage to change the things that are within you. Shaping your worldview, creating your perspective. These are the things that you have control over. Your self-talk, the way that you look at yourself, the way that you see yourself, the way that you interact with others. Like, all of these things are in your control. In order to get to the place where you feel in control of yourself, you need to have a complete and honest picture of yourself. That's where I feel like inner healing is ugly, because we have a lot of shit to work on, because we're imperfect and we're broken and we're suffering, and that's okay, because that's a part of the human experience. That's a part of this life. Living is suffering. It's one of Buddha's like staple teachings in life, is that living is suffering. And if you're not suffering, then you're probably not learning something. That as long as you realize that where you are now is not where you have to be, it's not where you have to stay. And in order to reach that place, you need to be honest with yourself. Inner healing is not a pretty experience. It's a very ugly, ugly experience. I cry, snotting, screaming. You see the parts of yourself that you're like, wow. Oof. There's a reason you were hidden away. But it's okay. It's okay to sit with that person. Sit with that person. Invite them over for a meal. Sit with your disappointment. Hey, regret, what are you getting on the menu? Hey, you, expectations. Dessert? The best thing that you can do for yourself is stop running away. Stop ignoring the things that make you uncomfortable, that make you unhappy, that make you sad. That's just holding you back from seeing pure happiness in yourself, in your life. And I want that for you. I want you to see that you can create the life for yourself. And the first step to that is being honest with yourself. I haven't done a sit down video in so long, and I've been having so much anxiety about this because it's very vulnerable. And I feel like I have imposter syndrome, that I even like feel that I can speak on inner healing, because I am deep in my inner healing journey, and I am not going to pretend like I know what the is going on, but I can speak from my own experience. Like, when you confront the things in your life that make you unhappy, you will find what you need to do to be happy, because you'll be so aware of it. You gotta know your enemy, you know? That's what they say. You gotta know your enemy. And in this case, the enemy is the old you, the past you, your old self, your past self. Like, you are evolving consciously. If you're not aware and you're not consciously working on yourself and making decisions that are shaping you into the person that you want to be, I don't know how to tell you this, but like, the world and society and every external thing, environment, person, place, thing that is interacting with you is changing you in some way, and you just have no clue how it's doing that. And that, to me, is like what scared me when I realized. I feel like taking ownership of your life and realizing that you can only control the internal is like the most powerful thing that you can do during this process, because life will throw shit at you. Like, life will like turn that shit upside down. Like, life will do that. And I just hope that you know that you have all of the tools, you have everything that you need, and you just have to trust and believe that there is like a purpose for this. That on the other side of all of this cow, that there is a rainbow and sunshine, and the stars and the moon and the sun are shining for you. Because the universe is trying to work with you. It's not trying to work against you. I want you to remind yourself of that the universe is working with you, and you just have to allow it to happen. Surrender yourself to the process. Don't try to run away. Don't try to fight it. Surrender yourself to the process, to the pain, to the suffering, to the unhappiness. I want you to start becoming aware of your fight or flight. I want you to start becoming aware of how you feel in certain situations that may be triggering to you. I want you to lean into it. I recently realized that strength isn't about holding back, but it's about leaning in. So often we hold back our emotions, we hold back the way that we feel, and that isn't being strong. Having courage to confront your emotions, to look yourself in the face and see yourself for who you are at this moment, and having the courage to tell yourself, I can be different, and that is my choice. And then choosing to be the best version of yourself. And I want you to write down the times, the feelings, the places, the people, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Because when you start writing it down, you'll start noticing things. And then look back on it and sit with those things. Ask yourself, why does this make me uncomfortable? Why does this scare me? And after that, you'll learn more about yourself. You learn more about the things and the areas of your life that you may need to spend more time reflecting on and cultivating, because you can't fix something that you don't know isn't working. But so many of us, we're just comfortable. We're just, okay, I'm fine. But you can be great. You can be spectacular. You deserve that. You deserve that. Say it to yourself. I deserve happiness. I deserve fulfillment. I want to hear it louder. I deserve happiness and I deserve fulfillment. I'm saying this to myself. I deserve happiness and I deserve fulfillment. A big step is understanding that you deserve it. That you deserve happiness and you can achieve that and you can get it. You can get it. But you have to walk through the cow the heaping piles of cow shit. I know it's possible for you. I know it's possible for me. And I wish you peace and love.